What if I told you that the very thing you believe makes you attractive is actually holding you back? That most men are chasing the wrong ideals, wasting energy on superficial efforts to impress women while missing the mark entirely. There's one uncomfortable, life-changing truth that separates the weak from the strong, and the men who embrace it become truly irresistible, not just to women, but in every area of life. This isn't just self-help fluff, it's a timeless lesson from the Stoic philosophers, and today we are breaking it down. Stick around, because this might be the most important shift in mindset you'll ever make. Let's dive in. Number 1. What most men get wrong about attraction. For centuries, men have been fed the idea that attraction is primarily about external factors, looks, status, money, or material possessions. And while these things can certainly catch someone's attention, they are not the foundation of true, lasting attraction. In fact, relying on these superficial traits often leads to shallow connections, fleeting relationships, and a constant cycle of insecurity. Why? Because when your sense of worth is tied to things outside of your control, you're setting yourself up for failure. This is where the ancient Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, offer timeless wisdom. They understood something profound about human nature that modern men have largely forgotten. Attraction is not about what you have or how you look. It's about who you are. More specifically, it's about your ability to master yourself, your emotions, your actions, and your mindset. Women and people in general are not drawn to desperation or neediness. They are drawn to strength, confidence, and self-assurance. Let's break this down further. Think about the typical behaviors many men fall into when trying to impress women. Chasing validation, they go out of their way to prove their worth, constantly seeking approval or reassurance. Putting women on a pedestal, they idealize the person they're pursuing, treating them as if they're the sole source of their happiness. Overcompensating, they try to impress with grand gestures, flashy displays, or by pretending to be someone they're not. Here's the brutal truth: these behaviors don't work. In fact, they often backfire. Why? Because they stem from a place of insecurity and neediness. When you seek validation from others, you give away your power. You become dependent on their approval to feel good about yourself, and this lack of self-sufficiency is glaringly obvious. It's not attractive, it's weak. A woman, or anyone worth building a meaningful connection with, doesn't want a man who needs her to feel complete. She wants a man who is already complete within himself. She wants someone who is grounded, confident, and emotionally stable, someone who can stand on his own 2 feet, regardless of external circumstances. This is the essence of self-mastery, and it's what the Stoics emphasized above all else. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from within. It's about cultivating an unshakable sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most powerful leaders, wrote extensively about the importance of self-discipline and inner resilience. He understood that no amount of wealth, status, or external success could compensate for a lack of self-control and emotional stability. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, often spoke about the dangers of seeking approval from others. He warned that when you tie your happiness to the opinions of others, you become a slave to their whims. Instead, he advocated for developing an inner compass, a clear sense of purpose and values that guide your actions, regardless of what others think. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and rose to become one of the most influential philosophers of his time, put it bluntly: wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In other words, true freedom and power come from being content with yourself and not relying on external things to feel worthy or fulfilled. So how does this Stoic wisdom translate to attraction? It's simple. Women are drawn to men who are self-assured and emotionally independent. They want someone who is confident in who they is, someone who doesn't need constant reassurance or validation. This doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means being secure enough in yourself that you can show up authentically without fear of rejection or failure. When you approach relationships from a place of self-mastery, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop trying to prove your worth and instead demonstrate it through your actions, your mindset, and your character. This is what makes a man truly irresistible, not his looks, his money, or his status, but his ability to remain calm, confident, and composed even in the face of uncertainty. If you want to become the kind of man who attracts women effortlessly, start by focusing on yourself. Cultivate self-discipline, emotional resilience, and a strong sense of purpose. Stop seeking validation from others and start building your self-worth from within. This is the foundation of true attraction, and it's a lesson that extends far beyond romantic relationships. Man who attracts women effortlessly, start by focusing on yourself. Cultivate self-discipline, emotional resilience, and a strong sense of purpose. Stop seeking validation from others and start building your self-worth from within. This is the foundation of true attraction, and it's a lesson that extends far beyond romantic relationships. When you master yourself, you become unstoppable, not just in love, but in every aspect of life. This is the Stoic path to becoming truly irresistible. Number 2, the Stoic key to unshakable attraction. The Stoic philosophers had a profound understanding of human nature and what it means to live a life of strength and purpose. At the core of their teachings is the idea that the highest form of power is self-control, the ability to remain calm, confident, and unmoved by external forces. This principle is especially relevant when it comes to attraction. Why? Because attraction is not about what you do to impress others. It's about how you carry yourself, how you handle challenges, and how you respond to the world around you. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement holds the key to unshakable attraction. When you have full control over your emotions, your actions, and your mindset, you become unstoppable. You stop being reactive, constantly seeking validation or worrying about what others think, and instead you become proactive, grounded, and self-assured. Here's the uncomfortable truth: you do not need validation, not from women, not from society, not from anyone. The moment you stop seeking approval, you shift the dynamic entirely. You stop being the one chasing and instead become the prize. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or dismissive. It means you develop a deep sense of self-worth that isn't tied to external opinions or outcomes. Think about it: when you're constantly seeking validation, you're essentially saying, "I'm not enough as I am." This mindset is not only unattractive, it's self-sabotaging. It communicates insecurity and neediness, which are the opposite of what draws people in. On the other hand, when you're confident in who you are and don't rely on others to feel good about yourself, you radiate a magnetic energy that people can't help but notice. So, how do you apply this Stoic principle to your life and relationships? Let's break it down. 1. Master your emotions. The Stoics believed that emotions are not inherently good or bad. It's how we respond to them that matters. When you feel anxious, jealous, or insecure, don't let those emotions control you. Instead, acknowledge them, understand where they're coming from, and choose how to act. This emotional resilience is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're in control of yourself, even in challenging situations. 2. Focus on what you can control. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, understanding what's within your power and what's not. You can't control how others perceive you, but you can control how you present yourself, how you treat others, and how you respond to setbacks. By focusing on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and start building a life of purpose and integrity. 3. Stop seeking approval. This is perhaps the most important step. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself from the need to impress or please. You start living authentically, making decisions based on your values and goals rather than what you think others want from you. This authenticity is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're comfortable in your own skin and don't need external approval to feel worthy. 4. Become the prize. When you stop chasing and start focusing on self-mastery, you naturally become the prize. People are drawn to those who are confident, self-assured, and emotionally independent. This doesn't mean you become aloof or unapproachable. It means you approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You know your worth, and you don't settle for less than you deserve. The Stoic key to unshakable attraction is simple but not easy. Master yourself, and the rest will follow. When you have control over your mind, your emotions, and your actions, you become the kind of person who attracts others effortlessly. This isn't just about romantic relationships, it's about living a life of strength, purpose, and authenticity. So stop seeking validation and start building your self-worth from within. This is the path to becoming truly irresistible, not just to women, but in every aspect of your life. Number 3, how to embody this power in real life. The Stoic philosophy isn't just about abstract ideas, it's a practical guide for living a life of strength, purpose, and authenticity. When it comes to attraction, the principles of Stoicism can transform how you approach relationships and how you carry yourself in the world. But understanding these principles is only the first step. The real power lies in embodying them in your daily life. One of the most common mistakes men make is placing too much importance on how others, especially women, respond to them. Whether someone likes you or not should have no bearing on your self-worth. Yet so many men fall into the trap of seeking approval, trying to impress, or bending over backward to win someone's affection. This approach not only comes across as desperate, but also undermines your confidence and authenticity. The Stoics had a solution to this: detach from outcomes. Epictetus, the philosopher who rose from slavery to become one of the most influential thinkers of his time, said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." In other words, you cannot control how someone feels about you, but you can control how you respond to their feelings or lack thereof. Instead of focusing on whether a woman likes you, focus on living a life that fulfills you. Pursue your passions, build your skills, and surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. When you're confident, purposeful, and centered, people will naturally be drawn to you. This isn't about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but letting them dictate your actions is a recipe for disaster. Many men fall into this trap, getting frustrated when they're ignored, acting overly eager when they receive attention, or becoming jealous when they perceive a threat. These behaviors signal neediness, and neediness is the ultimate attraction killer. Stoic man, on the other hand, remains composed no matter the situation. He doesn't let his emotions overpower his logic or dictate his behavior. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, it means understanding them and choosing how to respond. For example, if you feel rejected, instead of lashing out or withdrawing, take a step back and reflect on why you feel that way. Is it because you're seeking validation? Is it because you've tied your self-worth to someone else's opinion? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you master your emotions, you become unshakable. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding with intention." This kind of emotional control is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're grounded, confident, and in control of yourself, even in challenging situations. The more you seek validation, the less attractive you become. It's a paradox, but it's true. Women and people in general can sense when someone is desperate for approval, and it's an instant turn-off. Why? Because it signals insecurity and a lack of self-worth. Instead of craving attention or approval, focus on building genuine self-confidence. Confidence that comes from discipline, knowledge, and experience, not from external validation. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "A wise man is content with himself." This doesn't mean you become arrogant or self-absorbed. It means you develop a deep sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on what others think of you. Here, how you can start. Set personal goals and achieve them. Whether it's fitness, career, or a hobby, accomplishing something meaningful builds confidence. Practice self-discipline. Small acts of discipline, like waking up early or sticking to a routine, reinforce your sense of control and self-respect. Surround yourself with people who respect and challenge you. The company you keep has a huge impact on your self-esteem. When you stop seeking validation and start valuing yourself, you become the kind of man who doesn't need anyone, but is wanted by everyone because of his presence. A man with a mission is unstoppable. When you devote yourself to something greater than temporary pleasure, you become a force of nature. Women are naturally drawn to men who are driven, ambitious, and purposeful, not men who make them the center of their universe. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This is a call to action. Stop talking about being great, start living it. Identify your purpose, what excites you, what drives you, what gives your life meaning, and pursue it relentlessly. Purpose is attractive because it shows that you're not just living for the moment, you're building something meaningful. It also takes the pressure off your relationships. When you're focused on your mission, you're not obsessing over whether someone likes you or not. You're too busy creating a life that inspires others to want to be a part of it. Embodying the power of Stoicism in real life isn't about becoming emotionless or detached. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about mastering your emotions, detaching from outcomes, and focusing on what truly matters, your purpose, your values, and your self-worth. When you live this way, you become the kind of man who attracts others effortlessly. You stop chasing and start leading. You stop seeking validation and start inspiring it. This is the Stoic path to unshakable attraction, and it's a path that will transform not just your relationships, but every aspect of your life. So take these principles and put them into practice. Detach from outcomes, master your emotions, stop seeking validation, and focus on your purpose. This is how you become truly irresistible, not just to women, but to the world. Number 4, the unshakable man. Here's the truth most men refuse to accept. You don't attract women by chasing them. You attract them by becoming the kind of man they don't want to lose. This isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about embodying traits that are inherently attractive: emotional control, self-assurance, and a sense of purpose. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you naturally become magnetic, not just to women, but to opportunities, respect, and success. The Stoic philosophers understood this better than anyone. They taught that true power comes from within, from mastering your emotions, detaching from outcomes, and living a life of purpose. These principles are timeless, and they hold the key to becoming an unshakable man. An unshakable man is in control of his emotions. He doesn't let anger, jealousy, or insecurity dictate his actions. Instead, he responds to challenges with calmness and clarity. This doesn't mean he suppresses his feelings. It means he understands them and chooses how to act. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When you master your emotions, you become unflappable. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding with intention. This kind of emotional control is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're grounded, confident, and in control of yourself, even in difficult situations. The more you seek validation, the less attractive you become. Women and people in general can sense when someone is desperate for approval, and it's an instant turnoff. Why? Because it signals insecurity and a lack of self-worth. An unshakable man doesn't need validation from others to feel good about himself. He knows his worth and doesn't rely on external opinions to define it. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "A wise man is content with himself." This doesn't mean he's arrogant or dismissive. It means he's confident in who he is and doesn't need anyone else's approval to feel complete. When you stop seeking validation and start valuing yourself, you become the kind of man who doesn't need anyone but is wanted by everyone because of his presence. A man with a mission is unstoppable. When you devote yourself to something greater than temporary pleasure, you become a force of nature. Women are naturally drawn to men who are driven, ambitious, and purposeful, not men who make them the center of their universe. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This is a call to action. Stop talking about being great, start living it. Identify your purpose, what excites you, what drives you, what gives your life meaning, and pursue it relentlessly. Purpose is attractive because it shows that you're not just living for the moment, you're building something meaningful. It also takes the pressure off your relationships. When you're focused on your mission, you're not obsessing over whether someone likes you or not. You're too busy creating a life that inspires others to want to be a part of it. The unshakable man is not born, he's made. He's made through discipline, self-awareness, and a commitment to living a life of purpose. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't seek validation, he inspires it. He doesn't let his emotions control him, he controls them. This is the power of Stoicism, and this is how you become truly irresistible. If you found this lesson valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because this is just the beginning of your journey to self-mastery. Now, go out and apply it. What do you think is the most important trait of an unshakable man? Drop a comment below.